Isn't it crazy that after more than a century, there's still no bridge linking Sicily to mainland Italy? The gap? Just about 3 kilometers. That's less than 2 miles. Barely a swim for some people. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge stretches nearly 55 kilometers. They built that giant in just a few years. So why is this tiny gap still impossible to cross by bridge? Right now, the government says the bridge is finally happening. But if you ask Italians, they'll probably laugh. This project has been promised and canceled again and again, like a broken record. The tech? Yeah, it exists, but this isn't just a regular bridge job. The Strait's waters are wild, with deep underwater canyons, big valleys beneath the sea, and violent currents. Ancient myths even say sea monsters live here. Today's plan? To build towers on land and stretch a record-breaking span across the water. It would be the longest single-span bridge in the world. Over 1 kilometer longer than the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan, which currently holds the record. So, why is this obvious bridge still just a dream? Before we start, subscribe for more ambitious infrastructure stories. Now let's see why the most obvious bridge in Europe still doesn't exist. The idea of building a bridge between Sicily and mainland Italy goes way back. Even the Romans thought about connecting the island to the mainland, but they never made it happen. Later on, in the 1920s and 30s, Benito Mussolini, Italy's leader at the time, talked about building the bridge. He wanted it to be a symbol of Italy's strength, but again, the plan stayed just a dream. In modern times, the idea came back under Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi in the early 2000s. The government made big plans and set aside more than 6 billion euros. It seemed the bridge would finally be built, but the project was canceled. Money problems, politics, environmental concerns, all caused delays and doubt. Building the bridge is no small feat. The Strait of Messina has underwater canyons over 500 meters deep and currents that can reach up to 7 knots, strong enough to challenge any design. Here's an interesting fact. The planned bridge's towers would be taller than the Empire State Building. It aims to be the longest single-span bridge in the world. Despite all this, many Italians still believe in the bridge. They see it as more than just a crossing. It could cut travel times by hours, boost trade, attract millions of tourists, and create thousands of jobs. For many, this bridge means unity. Sicily has been separated from the mainland for centuries. The bridge would connect people, culture, and economy in a new way. Right now, it's still a dream, but it's a dream that keeps hope alive. The Strait of Messina is only 3.2 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, but beneath the surface, the water runs deep, up to 250 meters, with strong currents in an unstable seabed. The area is also in a major seismic zone, known for the deadly 1908 earthquake that destroyed Messina and Reggio Calabria. Despite these challenges, engineers believe a crossing is possible. The current plan is to build a single-span suspension bridge with 2 towers on land and no support in the water. This would make it the longest suspension bridge in the world, spanning about 3,300 meters. That's longer than Japan's Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, 1,991 meters, and China's Shihumen Bridge, 1,650 meters. Building a span of this size was once unthinkable, but technology has advanced. Tunnels were studied, but rejected. The deep water, high seismic risk, and poor seabed conditions made the idea too risky. Today's bridge design uses flexible materials, wind-resistant structures, and sensors to monitor performance in real time. Similar technology has already been used in major bridges in China, Japan, and Turkey. From an engineering point of view, the Strait of Messina can be crossed. The tools are ready. It's a matter of choosing to use them. The idea of a bridge over the Strait of Messina has been debated in Italy for decades. But while engineers see a challenge to solve, politicians often see a tool to win votes. Every new government brings a new set of priorities, and the bridge plan keeps swinging between approval and cancellation like a political pendulum. Some leaders push it forward, others scrap it completely. Silvio Berlusconi made the bridge a national symbol during his time in office. He promised it would connect north and south, boost the economy, and modernize Italy. In 2001, his government approved the project, but by 2006, when power shifted, the plan was put on hold. Berlusconi returned in 2008 and revived the idea again. A contract was signed, designs were drafted, but in 2013, the plan was dropped once more. Over the years, support has mostly come from center-right parties, including Forza Italia in the League, who see it as a bold infrastructure move. On the other side, many center-left parties, like the Democratic Party and environmental groups, have raised concerns about costs, environmental risks, and priorities. Regional tensions add to the drama. Leaders in Sicily and Calabria often argue over who should manage the project and how funds should be spent. Local politics, national interests, and tight budgets create a web of disagreements. So while the bridge is often promised in election campaigns, it rarely moves beyond paper. It's less a piece of infrastructure and more a symbol. Used, delayed, and debated, but never built. The cost of building the Strait of Messina Bridge is huge. Estimates start at 8 to 10 billion euros. This makes it one of Italy's most expensive infrastructure projects ever. Funding would come from three main sources: the European Union, the Italian government, and private companies. But agreeing on who pays what, that's always been tricky. The EU is willing to invest, but only if the project meets strict rules and shows clear benefits. The Italian government struggles to guarantee steady funding because priorities change with every new administration. Private companies see the project as risky and expensive, so they hesitate to commit. In the past, contracts to start work have been signed and then canceled. This back and forth caused delays, confusion, and lawsuits. By 2025, around 300 million euros had been spent, yet not a single pillar had been built. This cycle of uncertainty wastes money and time, creating frustration for locals and investors alike. The longer this drags on, the more expensive and complex it becomes. Without a solid financial plan and lasting political support, the dream of connecting Italy's mainland with Sicily by bridge remains just that, a dream. Sicily and Calabria sit on one of Europe's most active earthquake zones, experiencing hundreds of small tremors every year. In fact, this region records around 300 seismic events annually, making it one of the most monitored areas on the continent. This makes building a huge bridge across the Strait of Messina risky. Experts warn that strong earthquakes, or winds reaching up to 150 kilometers per hour, could seriously damage or even collapse the structure. Modern engineering can resist these forces, but the risks remain. Environmentalists worry about the impact on the strait's rich marine life, which includes endangered species like the Mediterranean monk seal. The area is also a vital corridor for over 300 bird species migrating between Europe and Africa. The bridge could disrupt these natural patterns. Local communities are split. While 60% see the bridge as a boost for jobs and tourism, many fear overdevelopment, pollution, and loss of their peaceful lifestyle. They worry the project could forever change the character of their towns and fragile coastlines. Balancing seismic safety, environmental protection, and local voices makes this project a huge challenge. Building the bridge isn't just about linking places. It's also about protecting the land and the people. The Strait of Messina region has long struggled with a strong mafia presence. Calabria is home to the 'Ndrangheta, one of the world's richest criminal organizations, earning an estimated 50 billion euros annually from illegal activities. Sicily's Cosa Nostra also remains active, especially in construction and public contracts. That's why big projects like the Messina Bridge can be risky. Criminal groups often try to win contracts, fake invoices, or use shell companies to steal public money. Corruption concerns have already scared off potential investors. In past years, Italy lost nearly 60 billion euros annually to corruption, much of it linked to public works. Even the European Union has raised red flags, warning that funds must be tightly monitored or withheld. Some experts call the bridge a goldmine for corruption, Without strong controls, it could turn into a project that benefits the wrong people, leaving locals without the progress they were promised. In 2023, Italy gave new life to the long-standing Messina Bridge plan. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's government officially brought the project back into focus after years of silence. The current administration sees the bridge as a symbol of progress. Italy's infrastructure minister, Matteo Salvini, has been one of its strongest supporters. He claims that construction could begin as early as 2025. Instead of starting from scratch, the government plans to reuse and update the old designs first made in the early 2000s. That plan was detailed and even reached the contracting phase before being canceled in 2013. By updating it, they hope to save both time and money. Opposition remains, but this time, the push feels stronger. The government promises more transparency and stricter rules against corruption. Supporters believe the bridge may finally happen. The momentum is building. So the real question is, will it ever happen? The technology is ready. The money could come through public funds, private partners, or EU support. On paper, the Strait of Messina Bridge is possible, but building it will take more than engineering. It needs political unity that lasts beyond one government. It needs strict protections against corruption and a real plan to manage environmental risks. That's where the real challenge lies. Some believe this is the right moment. Others say, we've heard it all before. Maybe the bridge will rise this decade. Maybe it'll remain Europe's greatest missed opportunity. The Strait of Messina Bridge has sparked debate for decades. Now we want to hear from you. Should the bridge finally be built, or is it not worth the cost and risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more wild mega build stories.